because we can always check.
Okay, guys, you're now on a live recording. It's being recorded.
Okay,
Let me get some paper.
all right.
I'm trying to help you out.
Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's start out at about 6:12 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order of the CPC Community Preservation Committee for the town of Dayton. And we have to read the COVID statement. Due to the increasing concerns surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting will be held remotely as well as in person. Those seeking to provide the public input should do so using the methods listed below. Video and audio of the meeting are being aired on Comcast Local TV 9. At a later date, a live recording of the meeting will be available at the Town of Dayton YouTube channel, which can be accessible using the link www.youtube.com/townofdayton. And the Zoom meeting, I don't have that in front of me. Okay, that covers that. So let's call the, let's take attendance also. Tim Rhines. I'd like to start off with attendance. Tim Rhines.
Here.
Robert Woods.
Here.
Mr. Pruitt.
Here.
Myself, Tom Kirkland, Dave Marvell.
Here.
Okay, and we have two guests. We have on the YouTube or the Zoom, we have Kevin Smith Jr. from Chairman of the Park and Rec, and I believe Open Space. Our town clerk is here. Welcome, Mark Chief. And our nice historical lady, Patricia Gales, is here. That's about all we got. Nobody else out there, right?
I'm gonna check right now. Just took some notes, so.
They would appear on the top that they were waiting to be.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody, so I'd say continue on.
Okay. Let's see what I want to do first here.
Okay, I believe it just like that.
Just bear with me a second. I was gonna have this organized. All right, what I'd like to do, I want to take something out of order. Just to get this out. So I'm gonna read this letter. I'm gonna take a vote. If somebody wants to make a motion, I'd like to read this letter from the Park and Rec. I'd like to take it out of order and do it first. So if somebody could make a motion.
Make a motion, we'll take it out of order for you to read the letter from
And
the
a
Park and
second.
Rec. Seconded.
Okay. Any discussion on that? I'd just like to start off with this letter I got from Park and Rec. First of all, Kevin, I'd like to thank you for how you opened with the fact that I was happy to get back to open space and your well wishes for my wife who was ill, and I appreciate that. And it is good to be back into all the meetings and so on and so forth. And I'm happy. I want to thank everyone for being understanding, and also those that helped me out. All right, this is to us, to the group Community Preservation Committee members. First and foremost, on behalf of the entire Parks and Recreation Commission, thank you for taking our project proposal under advisement. We all feel that the North Dayton Playground is a very important and much needed project in our town. During the design and planning process, we strive to put forth a project that was accessible, safe, fun, and affordable for the town. Accessibility was the forefront of our decision-making, but it certainly did not cloud our overall judgment of making this playground safe, fun, or affordable either. After our initial meeting with CPC and the voice concerned over the choice of where the playground is to be built on the property in relation to Prospect Street, we felt it necessary to provide some additional information on how we arrived at our decision. In its current state, the property facilitates a baseball diamond that is heavily used from spring until fall by the Dayton Little League for baseball and softball practices. In visiting the site during these practices and talking with parents that have children involved in those practices, we found that many of these parents have their other children with them while their siblings practice. In its current state, the facility offers no effective barrier from the street, and many of the children run and play in the grassy areas while practices are ongoing. Placing the new proposed playground at the front of the property, having it completely fenced in with closing gates, and adding a guardrail along Prospect Street will create a safe environment near the baseball field where children can play and allow the parents to not only watch their children practice, but also keep a close eye on their children playing on the playground. Another big factor in our decision was accessibility. While we certainly appreciate the history of North Dayton Playground being in the back of the property, it was unilaterally decided by our commission that having to construct 400 feet of walkway, relocating the baseball field fence, encroaching on the playing field, and relocating several light poles to create an accessible path to the playground does not afford the residents of Dayton easy access to the new playground, nor is it cost effective for the project. Placing the new playground out front allows us to create a simple, short, accessible path from the parking area to the playground. It also allows for quick access by first responders in the event of an injury or disturbance. It will allow us to easily recognize and address any maintenance needs that may arise. Last and certainly not least, it creates an inviting look to the property for everyone to enjoy. We hope that this provides some much needed clarification on how we arrived at our decision. We would be more than happy to answer any additional questions or concerns you may have, and will also extend an invitation to address questions or concerns by any residents of Dayton or our fellow town officials. Thank you, Dayton Parks and Recreation Commission. So we do have the chairman of Parks and Rec on the Zoom. So if there's, I think we could open it up for some discussion of the meat of the matter of this letter, and we'll try to move that along, and then we can get back to the other business at hand. But I think we should I just appreciate you taking that out of order.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Rhines.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the letter as read and to accept the letter into the record.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Motion made to accept the letter into the record as read. I will do a roll call vote. Mr. Rhines?
Aye.
Oh, is there any discussion on the letter before we vote on that?
Say it again.
That's no discussion. Seeing and hearing none. Mr. Rhines?
Aye.
Mr. Marvell, Dave?
Aye.
Mr. Pruitt?
Aye.
Myself, aye. And Robert Woods?
Aye.
Okay. It's unanimous, so noted. Pass. Now, is there Kevin, did you want to say anything? Mr. Smith, Kevin Smith, did you want to make any comments on it, or is that pretty much, you're satisfied
No.
with that?
No additional comments. Thank you very much for reading that out for the group and for taking it under consideration.
Okay, I'm glad we had a quorum, we were able to get it read out in public and had all intention of getting it out there, so I'm glad we were able to complete that task. All right. Okay. So the other thing is, I don't have the vice chairman here, so I can't do a financial. He's usually handles the financial, I mean, maybe on vacation.
Yeah, I checked the email. I don't see him trying to come in at all, so I think he must be.
So I don't have a financial report, which, you know, there is a good amount of money in there, but I mean, we can get it from the accountant, but he usually handles that. And we won't have a financial report tonight, and I have no report from him as the vice chairman. And just on a note, as the vice chairman, anytime I can't make a meeting or we're having a problem with a medical emergency with my family or anything happens with any of us, he is able to come and run a meeting. So that was never a problem. Even when I was out in Colorado, he was gonna run a meeting, they couldn't get a quorum, so they didn't have a meeting. So it's tight, these groups are tight right now. I'm in open space, they have 3 people, 1 guy misses, no quorum. So that's where we're at. Right now, it's tight with COVID. It's just tight with people volunteering. You know, people have underlying illnesses, they can't make it, and things happen. I'm gonna give my little thing, which I started doing is the chairman's report. Basically, in a nutshell, I wanna tell you that I just found out that I can work with the town clerk. They have a scanner at the town hall. We could scan all this stuff. I tried doing it with my phone. Some people were at the meeting and they have it in some of the stuff in their hands. When I started scanning this material, and I had one member and, you know, he said, I wish I could just have it in my hand. So I got all this stuff, either I can mail it to you, or pay for the postage. I have, you know, some addresses are in the book because they're public officials. So, you know, other people may not want to give their address. I don't know. So the clerk has just offered to help me out with this and get all this stuff scanned at town hall to help us out, which I think is excellent. And that way we can expedite all this stuff. You might have to delay some of this stuff because not everybody has it in their hands. But we can still talk about anything you want to talk about. We do have some new material from the historical, and you came to talk, and I'd like you to go next to get you out of here.
Okay.
So I'm gonna turn it over to our historical expert. I mean, our historical chairman of Mrs. Gales. I apologize, not hysterical. You might
That's
be
okay.
after you're done with this group. No, I'm kidding.
Basically, what I came for tonight is to follow up on our eligibility application. We had also applied for funding from the Mass Historical Commission, you know, for their survey and planning grant, as we did in the grant that we're working this year. However, our letter of intent was denied, and basically, it wasn't because of the quality of the project. They typically do not give out back-to-back awards to communities. It is a competitive grant, so they tried to spread it out throughout the state, the funding. I and the commission felt that it was important to put in another application because at the most, it can say no. If it was not as competitive an area and there was enough money for everyone, then we may have had a better chance. So,
And I did see that letter, and I knew we were
Right.
gonna talk about it, and the
Right.
other invoice that you brought.
right, so basically what happens is, you know, we have our application into the CPC for the 25,000. But the grant that would offset 12.5 of that is not available to us right now. So we are interested in continuing on with our project, without the grant money. So that's basically what I came to tell you about.
Just use what you have from,
This is for a whole new project. This would be a brand new project. It was designed to do Mount Hope, in the North Dayton Village.
okay, so where do you stand with that? Everything else, we're good?
Yeah, on the project that we're presently in, the first
Everything's
phase
moving
of
ahead.
it, everything's moving ahead. Phase 2 is completed. So the, Stacy Spy is a consultant. She is really now into the meat of doing all of the, forms that we need to get done for the documentation. So it is moving along. It's, we had some sample forms from her that are really quite thorough. We have a final list of 94 properties and resources that are going to be completed in Dayton, at the end of the project in June.
Okay, so this has to be paid then.
Right, that invoice is for her second phase, correct?
Okay. All right,
So, I guess for you, it's just, under your advisement still for the new money for FY '23.
we'll have to,
Right,
well,
knowing that we don't have the resources or the capability to go further with Massachusetts Historical Commission.
we'll take it under advisement. Do let's make a motion to take this, because of what was explained about make a motion to take it under advisement.
For the FY '23?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the state, it wasn't their fault, but because they got kind of turned down, so.
Yeah, we got turned down, we didn't.
We'll take a look at it, I know, but I mean, you've been doing it.
Yeah,
And what was the total on that price again, if you don't mind me asking?
for FY '23
Yes,
was 25,000.
that's 25,000,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Tim wants.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Tim.
Yes, I just want to thank Mrs. Gales for all of her hard work that she's, done on this for the past couple of years, with the Historical Commission and the members. I think it's an outstanding project, and, they were in the midst of doing it many, many years ago, and now this is just being picked up, and Mrs. Gales and the commission is carrying the torch forward, as they say. I greatly appreciate that. I just want to make a point, Tom, and the committee, is that I'm glad that we are going to discuss this about taking it under advisement under the situation. And I think we all understand that. And we do have time before we go to town meeting. And I would anticipate that warrant articles, we could have a placeholder by probably the third week of April. And, we can take it from there. So there is time between now and town meeting to go forward with a funding application, that type of thing, for any advancement. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, and if nobody has any problem with it, I think it, because of all the work they do, I mean, I would think that we could definitely entertain, look at that, because it's important, so the momentum would be.
Yeah.
So we'll take a vote on that.
So you're gonna make a motion to
I'm gonna make a
table?
motion to table anything tonight on that, but we're gonna take it under advisement,
Okay,
and then we'll get back,
Right.
we'll get back.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, that we take it under advisement.
That's pretty much what we're doing.
so we need to take a motion for that?
Yeah, someone needs to make a motion that we'll take it under advisement.
Mr. Chairman, so
Well,
moved.
Tim did, basically.
Tim, do you make a motion, sir?
I can't hear you that good, Tim, sorry.
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, so moved, we take it under advisement.
Okay,
You need a second for that?
you have to vote on that. Oh, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, so we have a motion on the floor to take it under advisement, we just need a second.
I'll
Second.
second it. Oh, no, Woody, no, take Woody's
Second by
vote.
Woody. All right, any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, let's take the roll call. Mr. Rhines,
Aye.
Mr. Woods,
Aye.
Dave Marvell,
Aye.
Mr. Poole?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Unanimous, so moved. So that's all set for now. Now, this other thing now, we're gonna pay this,
Right,
so we're gonna vote, just pay that. Is there anything else we can do?
no, that's it for tonight, we just wanted to,
All right, so
okay,
thanks for coming out.
well, thank you for
I
having
think
me.
everything will be, should be fine.
All right, yeah, if you need anything, you'll just let
We'll
me
get
know.
in touch, yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
great.
All right, take care, Pat.
Yep,
Be
take
careful
care.
I'll
driving.
see you around the Zoom again, I guess, huh? Warming up.
If you need help, just call me.
I think I will. Be my advisor.
Need help with the cable guy, oh, yeah.
That's pretty sad.
Thanks a lot, Mrs. Gales.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Yeah,
Stay safe.
We'll be in touch with you. Okay?
Yep,
Thank
okay,
you
Tom.
for coming in.
Just let me know when you have your next meeting next door, when that comes up again, your Zoom,
Okay,
when you're back in the building.
yeah, you'll probably be there February,
Okay,
because we met there Tuesday, last week.
okay. I'll see you in February. Just drop me a line. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk on was, speak about is this invoice that we have to be paid, so I'd just like to, we'll put it into the town accountant, it's for, it's from that historical project survey, phase 2. Stacy Spies, who's the expert on this consultant that they have hired, and the amount is $4,375 even.
Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead, Tim.
I motion that we pay the bill of $4,375 from the Historical Commission.
So noted, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded to vote the $4,000 to pay the bill for the consultant phase 2 from Dayton Historical Commission, Stacy Spies, $4,375.
That's 275. What we calling that? It's a cert.
It's phase 2 of completed project historical property survey. Correct?
Right.
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care. We
Good
make
night.
a roll count now, or
Wait, I thought we did.
did we for the second part? Oh, okay.
No, we have not voted on this.
Tim Rhines,
Aye.
Mr. Woods,
Aye.
Dave Marvell.
Aye.
Mr. Pruitt,
Aye.
myself, aye. You came in late, so
Dave Rosa, aye.
we have Mr. Rosa has arrived. So that's unanimous, Okay. Now, let's talk about all this material that we've been trying to get out to everybody. Is everybody in agreement that that's a good idea, that we hook this stuff up with the town clerk and he helps us get this scanned and disseminated? Is everybody in agreement with that? Some of it went out, some people have some of the stuff in there that were at the meeting. One of the meetings that they actually showed up, they had the materials, some of the materials. So there's so much material, I tried to scan it on my phone.
No.
Just one, it took me, I couldn't even, it's just not feasible.
What do we do with people who don't have a computer though? Does our whole committee have access to, because if we scan this, that means we're gonna be viewing it electronically, right?
Yeah,
So does everybody have access to that?
that's another rub. Some people, you could
I mean, I'm
mail it.
okay with it, but some people.
Another thing, you could mail it to people, all the stuff in, the hard copy could be mailed to everybody. What do you wanna do with it? There's so much, because we knew this was coming, all the things at once, but if you look at some of these materials, they're thick. I tried scanning this stuff. I just learned how to use a phone scanner, it's like, forget, oh my God. It's like, you'd be there for days trying to do this stuff, but everything that I had going on, and I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it scanned at the time. And then some people, they don't like, I've had, one member mentions, I'd rather have it in my hand. I don't want it scanned and sent to me.
It's different.
Well, I can't, but in the old days, before COVID, we could all meet and we could hand it, this stuff to everybody. And everything was fine, but now we're trying to, yes, sir.
All my materials I have in PDF already. Probably could go on a limb and say, I bet Kevin has all his stuff on PDF.
Okay.
I bet it could easily be disseminated already without scanning. I don't want to speak for Kevin, but it all starts on the computer, so you probably have.
Well, the fact that you have obviously a lot more skill than I do with this stuff, as far as the high tech, I mean, I thought I was making inroads with the scanner. I mean, I did send one thing out and it seemed to work, but it was only one little thing from historical that went out.
Right.
Chairman.
Go ahead, Tim.
I think we could take care of this problem because we do have monies for, different set asides where, yes, that's where 10 copies, hard copies, are still required under what the law states with the CPC in the way it's written. There's been no updates about electronic is, if everybody doesn't get it electronically, then whatever it may be. So I would like to just say that, again, 10 hard copies have been received, get everybody's mailing address, put it in an envelope, 55 cents or whatever it may be, mail it out, people get it, make sure that, again, that's where documents need to be sent to people because they need to have them in their hands to look at it. And again, those documents are also going to be included into the record. There's going to also be a paper copy and an electronic copy. So that's the only point that I have in regards to that. But I understand the situation that, we're all in because of, what's transpired in the world, so on and so forth. I don't want to get into any of that. There's no need to. So, but again, documents, 10 copies are required. They're delivered to town hall. We all understand the circumstances. We don't need to replay that again. So I think we should just move on with the agenda and let's try to wrap things up if we can.
Yeah, and the one thing I just want to comment on was, I had checked with the Karen Brady and she said, well, you got to make sure they want you to know some people may be funny about their address, but I mean, so I'm sure we can work together and get everybody's address. I mean, public officials, it's in the book, because you're a public official. And I know where some people live, but I don't know everybody's address. And some people are funny, they're funny about their emails and stuff like that, but I go along with that. Let's do that, we can move forward. You need a little more time to review all this stuff, and it is a lot of material.
Yeah, we still have time between, as I say, now and, town meeting to even, go further with a step for an application for funding. Because again, warrant articles, I would think that June town meeting, they would want them probably by the 3rd or 4th week of April. We have a placeholder, we always have.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be a problem.
And if everybody's happy with that, I'm happy with it. I think I really appreciate the town clerk stepping up to help us, and it's nice that we all can work together. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, just one question to you, Mark. So if we scan this electronically, do you got someplace on the town server to keep this stuff? I mean, we'll save this for another conversation, because sometimes you just wonder what happens to all the copies. Do we electronically put them, is there a shared drive on the server somewhere where we can just keep it?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
All right, no, we can wait.
Are you able to work with Netrospect on getting a CPC folder that you guys can share?
What's that? You know what I mean? I'd have to learn what that is, but I'm sure we could do it.
I'm sure there is somewhere. You guys could probably set up something.
Okay, we'll talk later. It's in our project, so we'll stay on the agenda. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Tim.
I just want to make a reminder to everyone that wasn't it discussed years ago that they were going to try to have a regionalized location for certain boards and committees to have a computer set up? Does anybody remember that?
Yeah, in the town hall in the.
Okay.
In the town hall.
We're still working on it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's still a work in progress. Okay.
So a lot of the records are still, I guess they're under the stairs now, right, Tim? Apparently some
Yes.
of the file cabinets.
Yes, they're in the filing cabinet.
Well, that's good. That's encouraging that we solved that, because I didn't know how we were gonna figure that one out. So that's good. I'm glad you came.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may?
Go ahead, Tim.
I don't know if we want to move on because I know, Mr. Pacheco's sitting there. He probably has other things to do at home, and due to the circumstance, I'd like to, if we could make a motion to, take it under advisement, the application for funding for 2022-01 presented by the town clerk until we receive all proper documentation, to the members.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Rhines? Somebody
Aye.
just called.
Yeah, Sue Coates just came on.
Okay. Ms. Robert Woods,
Aye.
Dave Marvell,
Aye.
Mr. Pruitt,
Aye. Aye.
Dave Rosa, myself, aye. It's unanimous. So, any, hearing and seeing none, does anybody else have anything to add to that? All right,
I'm
that's,
sorry, was there, who motioned it first for the scan, for the electronics?
yeah, I believe, Tim, didn't you put that in the initial motion? I'm just having trouble hearing you. About the scanned electronics?
Tim, do you make the
Yes,
first motion?
if people can get it that way and download it, you know, we can print it out, yeah, that's fine. But again, there still is required under the CPC regulations that 10 hard
Yeah.
copies of paper are
Yeah.
sent to members. Simple. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Tim, no, I'm sorry, it's a different question.
Second time
You made a
I've said
motion for this?
What we're trying to get at is, as you mentioned, there's no changes to electronics on these, so we still have to go with the paper. So the best route is gonna be the mailing, I would say, and then maybe save it somehow.
Okay, so we all.
We'll keep a copy on file of the hard copies of everything. Okay, our town clerk is here, I'm gonna let him say whatever you gotta say, you got the floor.
Thanks, I don't have much to say, I don't think, the only update I had from when I presented last time was whether that large bid I had needed to be
Right.
bid out, and I just found out after talking to the town administrator, if it was approved by you guys, and then if it was approved at town meeting, it would be bid out after that, and the town administrator would
Right, Joe.
a role in that. So we don't need it at this point. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hello?
Is everybody clear on that, what was brought forth? Does anybody have any questions for the town clerk? Right. Thanks for coming on. I guess you have no questions, huh? I think it's fine that he looked into it, and
Perfect.
that was that little thing you were, so you got the answer on that, and we're fine with that.
And the price on that project again?
That was $50,000.
That was the big,
Okay.
one of the big ones, right? That's all those records.
The death certificates and all that?
Yep, vital records.
I started digging in that, trying to scan that,
I'm sorry, what kind of records?
Vital,
Fine, okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
It's conversion to electronic data from paper, right,
Yes, and preservation.
and preservation.
okay.
It's a big task, thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be great when you have it done, at least we can start reading it, you know?
Absolutely.
Hopefully we don't find anything bad.
No.
Definitely somebody's, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the only other thing, well, as far as the bill, I'm gonna go to the bills. The one thing is, I found out you have to fill out, I wasn't aware of it, there's a form that has to be filled out for the only bill we have is that one for we had two. Yeah, no, thanks for
Thank you
coming.
very much.
Take care,
And
man.
thanks for the help, with helping us.
Give me a call.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
There's a form, departmental schedule for bills payable. The only bill that has to be paid is that one we had to have two public hearings. So it just doubled the price on the, for the newspaper. So as soon as I can, I'm gonna drop that off. And that was, 248.48. That was already voted on at the last meeting. And then we don't, let's see, what else do we have? That's basically it. As far as the minutes from the last, we don't have the minutes from the last, I guess I advised Karen to try to try to look at the film, get together with Dave Marvelli, had copious notes that night. We don't have any minutes to approve from the last meeting, because we don't have any. And, is there anything else that anybody has to? Go ahead, Mr. Rosen.
With regard to, I assume the bill has to do with you putting an ad in, say,
There's
the
2
Congress
times
ad.
yet,
Okay,
yeah.
and this happens because there has to be, public notice. And so I'm just a little interested in what is the, how do we meet the standard for public notice given the world of social media and the fact that the town has a website and that it is so commonplace for people to go to these places and look up information. I know I probably won't get an answer this evening, but I wonder if the business of turning to a printed media, the Taunton Gazette being the example in this case, actually even really meets the intent of the law with regard to public announcement. And why do I raise all this? Because perhaps we're incurring a cost to meet a standard that really isn't there anymore. And then the new public announcement is really on the town website and by other means. So I'm just food for thought.
Right, we can look into that, but as it stands right now, that's what I was told from, all the levels of the town government. That's what they do, even though you have to pay for it.
Right, well,
Probably nobody even read it, but it still has to be legally put in there. Until we find out some other legal means.
well, we do have town council and maybe we need to.
I could check, yeah, we could check with
And,
the town.
town
Administrator maybe.
you know what they say, just because we
You don't have
always did it that way, doesn't mean we always have to do it that way. But anyway, so maybe there's a new definition of public announcement. I don't know.
We can look into that. But that goes along the same lines as the rules for these hard copies. Until they change, it's still gotta be done that way.
Yeah, but the cost is significantly different, not to be argumentative, but
No.
just again, food for thought.
Exactly.
Mr.
Anybody
Chairman.
else, any input on that, Mr. Wood?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
it's the law and we need to follow the law until the law is changed.
That's what we do.
Thank you very much.
That's what we're doing. Okay.
Well,
So,
that's why we have town council to give us a reading on what might be a change in meeting the law. So once again, I
well,
ask that you take that up.
we can, right now it's the law, but it doesn't hurt to throw it out at him, but I mean, that's probably, he's gonna say that's the law.
What's the standard? What is a public notice anymore in today's world?
I can't answer that.
Right, so maybe town council can help us sort through that.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't even bother.
We don't have a legal fund to call town council.
I could just run it by the town administrator, you know what I mean?
Knock yourself out.
Let's do it that way. I mean, call them, Let's do it that way. But I mean, as it stands right now, we basically have to do by the law. That's what I was told. I mean, everybody does it, so.
It's a good question, and if you.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Maybe there's something that can come of that, but what happened was we didn't have a quorum. We paid for the thing. We didn't have a quorum, so we had to do it again, so it doubled the price because we didn't have a quorum. But that comes back to I'll give you an example, open space, there's 3 members, 1 person don't show up, there's no meeting. So that's where we're at. This COVID has complicated things. And people are tired, they try to get people to volunteer with all this other stuff. It's hard, we're trying to do the best we can, that's all. So, I don't really that's about all we got tonight. I mean, we can set the next meeting. I was gonna throw it out. What do you think about the 6 o'clock? You like that? A little better for you?
6 tonight was supposed to be.
Yeah, I got the
apologize
word.
to gentlemen,
I did send you,
you did.
I didn't call you though, but I did send you
Yes, you did, and
I apologize for not calling you.
but no, you shouldn't have to do that.
Mr. Chairman.
I think it's fantastic.
Mr. Chairman,
It's
you
the
can-
6.
Mr. Woods?
6 o'clock,
It's Mr. Smith.
Yeah, let's,
Get home a little.
Mr. Smith?
early, 9 o'clock.
who wants to speak up there?
Hold on, please. Go ahead, Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, I know.
Hold on a minute, folks.
Me too.
Hold on.
I know you had on your agenda to review and discuss the Parks and Recreation application and the eligibility. I don't know if I missed it. It's kind of
No.
tough to hear on here. I
Go
just
ahead.
would like to know where we're at with that, if we're getting it, what the time frame is to get to the actual funding application process.
Did you walk away for a moment from the camera, or are you out of earshot?
It's just tough to hear when you get more than one person
All
talking.
right, what we have to kind of change the plan a little bit, because not everybody got the materials. It's not fair to the membership, so we're gonna work with the town clerk. We're probably gonna end up mailing the hard copies to everybody. They're gonna go via mail, because it's so much to scan. Now, as far as where we're at with your particular project, I'd say it's gonna have to go to the next meeting to have a firm idea of what we're doing with that. I think there's time for you. I mean, there's time. It's still gonna be, it's not fair to the members to just do something. A lot of them haven't even seen anything yet. So.
I know, you're talking about my original packet that I submitted with the 10
Yes.
copies?
Yes.
Is everyone willing
Some
to
have
accept
it and
it
some
via
don't.
email? Because I can easily send it out to everyone.
Well,
Or do you
that's fine if you wanna send it out, but I mean, the point is, the town clerk's gonna help us. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna send out, but you can send it out to them if you want.
Well, I did
Fine
hear
with
him
me.
say that about me having it on PDF, which I do, but I didn't grasp the whole conversation. So I mean, if it makes it easier for everybody, and I'm all for saving paper, I'd rather just email it to you
Yeah, I
guys
mean,
than
it's
reprint
fine
it.
with us if you wanna send it, but we're still gonna work with the town clerk and get this stuff mailed, the hard copies to every member.
Is this gonna be the same one that we got last?
Yeah, some have it, some don't, so.
The same one, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, so.
thank you.
All right,
Thank
So,
Mr.
so no decision tonight on anything per se.
Chairman,
Go ahead, Tim.
I'd like to, at this time, because of the circumstances, a lot of members have not had information provided, that we, again, take the application of eligibility 2022-02 presented by the Dayton Parks and Recreation under advisement until information is provided to the members till the next month.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, I gotta do a roll call. Tim,
Aye.
Mr. Woods,
Aye.
Dave Marvell,
Aye.
Mr. Scully,
Aye.
Mr. Pruitt,
Aye.
myself as an aye, Mr. Rosa.
Aye.
Okay, so that's unanimous.
Okay, so the playground,
So
I
his-
think under advisement.
The work on, it's pretty much
Wood
everything.
had the first, Robert Wood had the first motion, right?
Right. I thought Tim made it.
Yes, that's correct. If I may, just another quick explanation to everybody who's here tonight is that there is still time between now and town meeting. Again, I would anticipate that warrant articles would be due sometime third week of April, so it'd be printed, so it'd be ready for June. There's always a placeholder presented to the CPC. They've done it like that for years. It'll continue, I'm sure. So there's plenty of time between now and when warrant articles are due.
May I ask one more question before I bounce off? So if it's after it's taken under advisement and it goes to the funding application, is that typically just like another month in between meetings that the funding would be approved?
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Correct.
And
They would
Tim-
receive the application, take it under advisement, and then the committee would make a decision up or down to, give funding in that direction, whatever it may be. That's how it's always been done in the past.
And Kevin, I just want to apologize. I mean, I really don't. I did have some personal stuff going on, and we did have some meetings. We didn't have a quorum. So, I mean, it just kind of fell that way. So, I mean.
Oh, no,
In the end,
it's
it's
fine.
all I feel it'll all work itself out one way or another, so.
We're all
Just hang
dealing
in
with
there.
it. It's all good.
Hang in there. That's all, you know what I mean? And I'll see you at open space.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Right, take
Thank
care.
you.
Good night,
Thank you,
guys.
everyone. Good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Nice to
Okay.
see everyone.
Let's set
Good
a
night now.
meeting, you leaving us, Tim? Hey, let's set a meeting date
Sorry?
for the next one. February. That's tough because you got,
You're gonna go the third Thursday in February then,
you
right?
got, yeah, well, traditionally, Valentine's Day, is that gonna interfere with anybody?
Bless these
Anybody
guys.
going to a Valentine's dance?
Those days are all numbered.
So does anybody have a calendar?
So the 17th is the third Thursday of the month, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Okay,
So
Does that work
February
for everybody?
17th.
February 17th at 6.
And we're gonna do 6.
Okay.
That's great. I think that works out for everybody. Just my opinion. I think, you know, that way we can get home, do things, whatever it may be.
I think that was a great suggestion, and we thank you.
Tim,
Yeah, I want
question
to
for
just, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'd like to thank Dave Marvel, man. Dave, you've done fantastic work for, you know, on behalf of this town and cable for many years. And I think it works out better for you also if we do 6 p.m., and I hope it does.
No, well, the other question I have for you, I know we had a problem, we talked offline before about getting other boards to come to visit us. You think with this new time slot we have, like, other boards should be able to show up to our meetings?
Yeah,
Occasionally?
Dave, it's Woody.
Yep,
I spoke with Mr. Digits this week because he was unable to attend our meetings because he's on conservation. And
yeah,
they were meeting at the same exact time as we are. So now that we're gonna go to 6 o'clock, he may be able to make our meeting and then get over to this Concom meeting.
that's awesome. Okay, so we'll keep these Thursdays for now and see how it works out. Maybe the time slot will free up more people. Okay.
No, I didn't hear from, I sent the materials out to Mr. Digits, but did not, I didn't hear anything from him.
Yeah, I talked to him this week. You know, his conservation meeting starts at 7, but he'd like to get there at 6:30 to prepare. And, you know, if we are gonna be discussing the playground, which is a high dollar project, we'll see what we can do about getting him over here for the next meeting.
Put it on the agenda early.
Thank you. Anything
Yeah,
else?
great. That's a great point. Put them first on the agenda. That way, you know, we can either get the discussion, have that member there, and, you know, have another thought involved with that.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I hear a second.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. Let's do a roll call. Tim Rhines,
Aye.
Woody,
Aye.
Mr. Woods, Dave Marvell,
Aye.
Adele,
Aye.
Pruitt, myself,
Aye.
Mr. Rosa. Meeting adjourned at
7 p.m.
7. Hey, yeah,
Pretty good. All right,
thank you,
gentlemen.
gentlemen.
Be safe.
Thank you, Cable, as always. Thank you, guys. It's good to see everybody. I'll see you
Thanks,
soon.
Tim.
Take care.
Great night now.
Okay, that's.
Oh, before we go on, let me kill the recording, you know, I help. Yeah, let me stop this.
Adele, that's your first name.
Yes.
Are you getting emails?
Oh, yeah.